Alright, in this scene we're looking at currency exchange. This panel shows how one currency can be converted into another using a table-driven setup. So instead of hard-coding rates in gameplay code, we define exchange behavior in a data asset, and the system uses that to quote and execute the conversion. Before we run this scene, let's take a look at the currency exchange table. This is the asset that defines how currencies convert from one to another. You can create one by right-clicking in the project window, then going to Create, RevFramework Currency Exchange Table. Once created, you define your exchange rules here. Each entry is a directional conversion from one currency to another, and you can add as many of these as you want. So this isn't limited to just one or two pairs. And if you want conversion both ways, you define both directions explicitly. For example, this first entry converts gold into gems. The rate is 0.25. So for every one gold, you get 0.25 gems. There's no fee on this one, and we've got minimum and maximum source values to control when the rule is valid. Below that, we've got the reverse conversion, gems back into gold. The rate here is 4. So 1 gem gives us 4 gold. This one has a fee applied and rounding enabled, so the result is adjusted to whole values. So each row defines how a specific conversion behaves, and this is what drives the quote results we'll see in the panel. Alright, let's run it. Like the other demos, each text is turned off here to keep things clean for the video. In this scene, we're also using the Currency Basics panel. That's just here to seed the starting balances and show the result after the exchange runs. So the exchange panel is where we quote and execute, and the Basics panel makes it easy to set up the wallet and verify the outcome. You'll also notice we're using the same currency set and policy as the previous scene. That's just for consistency. Exchange itself doesn't depend on policy, but because execution runs through the live service, any policy rules still apply. At the top of the exchange panel, we've got the bindings, owner, service, and exchange table. Owner is the wallet we're mutating. Service is the active composed currency service, and the exchange table is the asset driving the exchange behavior. So this panel isn't using a fake system. It resolves the real ICurrencyService, builds a real exchanger from the table, and runs through the actual stack. Below that, we've got reason and source ID. These are audit tags passed into the exchange call. So audited stacks can record why the exchange happened and what triggered it. Think of these as telemetry, not gameplay logic. Next, we've got from and to. From is what we debit, to is what we credit, and the panel prevents selecting the same currency. The swap button just flips the selection. Below that, we've got live balances, so we can see exactly what the owner has before we run anything. Now the important part is the quote section. This is where we enter a source amount, and the panel calls TryQuote to ask, if I exchange this much, how much do I get back? If the table has a valid rule, we get a result. If not, the quote fails. So I'll pick gold as the source, gems as the destination, and enter an amount. You can see we get a live quote based on the exchange table. That result already includes the rate, any fees, any limits, and any rounding rules. Below that, we've got execute. This is the real exchange. When I press this, the system re-quotes internally and then performs the mutation, debiting the source and crediting the destination through the live currency service. If it succeeds, we get a success result, and we can see the balances update here and in the basics panel. If it fails, we get the full service result back, including the failure reason. And this is where the architecture matters. The exchange table defines the conversion, but the currency service decides whether that conversion is actually allowed. So even if a quote is valid, execution can still fail for reasons outside the exchange logic. So the key idea is simple. The table defines the conversion. The service defines the rules of mutation. And this panel shows both, from quote to execution to final result. If you understand that exchange is always quote first, then execute through the live service, you understand the core model. Everything else, rates, fees, limits, rounding, is just data driving that behavior.